In an ideal world, your pool would be crisp and clean when you get ready to take it down. But let's face it, life happens. And if your pool was clean, you probably wouldn't be taking it down. You'd be swimming in it at least one more time. Here are some reasons you may want to consider when choosing whether to leave your pool up or take it down. Taking your pool down is the best way to ensure nothing damages it over the winter. Depending on where your pool is, if there are large trees on your property, you run the risk of storm damage from falling limbs, or dead limbs falling on your pool during heavy winter rain or snow events. Covering the pool effectively to keep out dirt, leaves, and algae is also a challenge. The tarp must be weighted down to keep the high winds from blowing it around, but it also has to be placed in a way to keep it from submerging under the water. The work involved, let alone the expense of wrapping it with plastic to seal it, is also too much for some people to deal with. It's also hard to get the chemicals just right for storage over the winter. For me, taking it down ensures that I don't leave it nasty over the winter. My pool never seems to be exactly level, so no matter how hard I try to level the ground, some years it's more level than others. And although these pools can take a few inches off level and still stand up to the weight of the water and splashing around, it's always nice to start fresh each year. Taking my pool down motivates me to give everything a good once-over that I might not do if I left it up every year. It also makes me evaluate the surrounding area and keep it really clean of debris and unwanted overgrowth. These are just a few of the reasons I take my pool down and store it for the winter. It's a good idea to clean the outside of your pool while it's still full. You can begin the siphoning process first and then start cleaning it because it usually takes quite a long time for the pool to drain. There's many different factors that affect how long it takes, and I'll talk about that in my next video on how to drain your pool. Okay. This is not easy to do because it wants to move away from the side, but anything you can use that's soft and that you can scrub the sides down will help loosen the algae. And I'm going to skim this and turn the pump back on so it can continue to filter some. Here you can see that all my hard work is paying off. All the scrubbing and the skimming And the moving the algae around has really helped to loosen it up. And as the water has siphoned out, the algae has gone with it. I haven't added any chemicals. There was no bleach added other than a very little bit of mild dish soap while I was scrubbing. What I'm doing here is just using a large broom to push the debris to one side and move the algae around. And in a minute, I'm going to come in with my makeshift screen and skim out some of the junk on the bottom of the pool. But you can see that throughout the process, the water has actually gotten cleaner just by siphoning out the junk and taking the junk out manually as I go. It would probably be easier to get inside the pool and move the stuff around, but the water is still kind of high. It's very cold, and it's got a lot of algae, so I want to wait till it gets farther down. So here I'm using a large shop broom with fairly soft bristles. They're a little stiff, but they're soft enough that they won't damage the liner. And by actually sweeping the bottom of the pool while it has water in it, it dislodges the algae from the bottom of the pool, and it moves the debris around so I can get it to one spot and get in there with my screen and pull it out. I continually do this process around the whole pool until I've got as much of the algae dislodged as possible. There are a few spots where the base of the pool or the pool liner was wrinkled, and in those spots some of the algae has gathered, and as the pool drains and I get more water out, I can get in there with like a toothbrush or something soft and really scrub it up. But this process really helps move things along and cleans the pool a lot easier than when all the water is drained out, because once the water drains out and that algae dries up, it kind of sticks to the bottom of the liner, and it really is difficult to get it cleaned up. This way you can do a lot more cleaning with a lot less soap, and you don't have to do so much rinsing, and you don't have to do so much siphoning and bailing of water. So enjoy the process.